All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
MotherGoose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck, standing by.
Lock S foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast. I am one of your hosts, HouseDog, and with me, as always, the man I can always rely on whenever we need to record. The one, the only. He's the legend himself. He's bearded, he's sexy. It's the Lowtech Tuck.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Elijah's dead.
He is dead.
No, who knows?
And he may he may come back. We'll see.
He may come back. Maybe editor Elijah will somehow pop into this episode. I don't know. But for now, it's just me and Tuck today.
Yep.
For all of you big Mac and Tuck fans.
We're running that. Us. We're running that hurry up offense, and that's what matters.
We're running the show today.
That's right.
Elijah's not here. You know what that means, Tuck.
That we can talk about anything.
Anything is possible.
And it'll
here.
likely still be the episode, but we're going to pretend that it's not.
It's the illusion of choice, really.
Are any of us really free?
It's true.
Is there any way to know?
I watched a whole movie on it last night. It's called Heretic. I don't know if you've checked it out yet with Hugh Grant.
No. That sounds interesting. What is that?
It was. It's about two Mormons knock on Hugh Grant's door, and then he puts them through these trials because he's trying to show them the one true religion because he's been studying religion. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, it seems like a weird one. Was it super late at night?
It was an A24 film. If that gives you any.
Yep. Big
indication.
Twist at the end. Very weird. Yep. Fair enough. Yep.
Kind of cool though.
It's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's just
talk about
that's what you're in for.
A24. We're here to talk about Star Wars.
That is true. Specifically, episode 7 of Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. One episode left of the season. And you know what? Maybe it's a good thing Elijah's not here because we're the only true fans at this point. We're the only hobgoblins.
We're the only untainted.
The only That's right. We still have our taints.
That's right.
Elijah has no taint. It's canonical.
We have our taints and our honor.
It's canonical. We've remained tainted. Untainted.
Untainted.
Untainted. Still with our taints.
That's right.
Yeah, one episode left, and I have to say, this was a good episode. A lot happened.
Yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the scene with the parents and their beacon, and they're running from the security droids.
Very E.T. vibes.
Very E.T. vibes, and then also what I got reminded of, like how one of them will have it, and they're running, and then they get stunned and pass it to the other one. It's just like, just a classic Civil War, World War II movie where somebody has the flag and they're running, and then they die, and someone else grabs the flag and they're running. It's just kind of cool. It's a classic, classic trope.
My favorite part was Neil's mother being stunned, just straight up.
Yeah, dude. Actually, speaking of Neil's parents, did you realize that Neil's dad has tusks? I didn't realize that.
I mean, you would
until
figure,
this episode. Yeah, that's fair.
Not that I thought about it either, but I did notice it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess the male species has tusks.
How do you feel about the fact that Neil one day will have tusks and be a big old elephant man?
You know what? I don't think Neil will ever have tusks.
You don't think so? You don't think he'll ever man up and have tusks?
No, I think he's going to become tainted and have his taint removed.
Or I guess also, too, you may kill him before he reaches manhood as well.
That's true.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
He could be. And the other question that brings up is Neil's species hunted for their tusks like elephants on Earth?
That is so sad. That's such a sad thought.
Is there a big ivory trade in the Star Wars universe? We have slavery already. Why would there not be poaching?
Also, too, is there a Star Wars Sarah McLachlan that does ASPCA commercials about elephants? For $1 a day, you too can save little boys like Neil.
That's a good point. But yeah, no, the parents sending out the communicator was interesting. We find out a whole lot more about Ed Atten.
Oh, yeah.
And how it works. I thought we were going to finally meet the secretary. And I do have an interesting point later for the secretary.
Dude, I do too. I have a theory. Actually, you want to just talk about it? Yeah, you want to?
Sure, we can talk about it now.
Yeah,
I think we're right, Tuck. I think the secretary is a robot.
Could be. The other thing, the crazy theory I had in my mind is, so it got revealed that Renid, what's his first name? The famous
Tack
pirate.
Renard.
Yeah, that guy.
Give me a little 33. Come on. I haven't had some 33 in a while.
I remember every twisted peak.
Every twisted peak.
But-
That's it, Tuck. You have to be a voice actor in my show now.
And just play 33 or just pirates, just every pirate.
Both.
They all have the exact same voice.
Yes, they'll all have the exact same voice, as well as 33's voice, and they'll all be played by you.
And they're mostly talking about twisted peaks, because that's the only line I can do really well.
Yeah, that may be their only line in the whole show.
Our twisted peaks. But my thought was that maybe Renid never died, because it's an AT-AT ship. And what if he's the supervisor? I thought about that.
That's a good theory.
I was like, that could happen. I could see that happening.
Yeah, but just more detail for my show is I've decided that 33 will run a pirate-themed bar, possibly a la
nice.
Chuck E. Cheese. And that will be his one line. He welcomes you into the bar / child diner.
And the bar's called Twisted Peaks.
Twisted Peaks. Yes. You get it. See, this is already writing itself.
Welcome to the Twisted Peak.
Aye.
Would you like to sit starboard or port side?
Yes. It's writing itself. It's writing itself. No, that's a very interesting theory about the supervisor. The only reason I say it's a droid is because whenever they're going down to the vault, I believe, and Jod is requesting the supervisor, and he's like, and make a thing of cocktails or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, it's not that scene. I think it's the
I want your
scene where
finest
all the
refreshments.
parents... Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
in your finest refreshments. No, I think I messed up. I think it's the scene with all the parents in that chamber, and the droid comes in, and he almost like alludes to the supervisor being a droid with his line.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Wim's dad is like, that's the problem with you droids. You don't understand humans or whatever. And he's like, well, the supervisor, and then he gets cut off because it's a message from the supervisor, who has a very interesting voice, which it's not a computer voice, but computers can take human voices and pretend to be human.
I mean,
but
right
it could
now
be
we
Tack
have
Rennet.
AI. I mean, it could just be AI.
Yeah, it could be AI. The only problem with the Tack Rennet theory is they tell that pirate story like it's a very old pirate story.
Oh,
but it could be Tack Rennet uploaded himself into a mainframe type of deal.
What if he's the AI?
That's what I'm saying. What better way to protect his treasure for all time than to be the one that's in charge of it? But then why would he be helping the Republic?
Well, but is he?
Because they do mention emissaries, and the parents tell them, like, hey, we can't give you coordinates to add at it, but if you go to a Republic planet and find a Republic emissary, tell them you're from AT-AT, and they can find you a way home.
But also, too, is it helping the Republic, or is it more so of a loan, where you're leveraging the fact that the Republic needs money to make your gold go up higher? Like through interest rates and stuff like that.
I think AT-AT's just become lost to time, because where was all this money during the rebellion and
specifically the Clone War.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why did they have to go banking clan? Like, both sides had to go banking clan.
It was all part of Palpatine's
yeah, it was
plan
all orchestrated. But still, like, you would think though that if they needed credit and they knew about AT-AT, I mean, wouldn't they go that way? Especially with the moon being, not entirely trustworthy, and famously not being entirely trustworthy.
I don't know. I don't think this will be the last we see of At-Atten. I don't know if that'll be explained in episode 8. I don't know if that'll be explained in season 2 of why At-Atten hasn't been utilized by the Republic or the Rebellion so far.
Yeah. I would think maybe Luke found it. Because
or maybe it's one of those things that the Emperor kept secret. You know, because he had those treasure troves all over the galaxy of just secrets, Sith artifacts, Jedi artifacts, artifacts from other cultures. You know, the map to Ahch-To was in one of the Emperor's bunkers.
Well, and that's why I wonder if Luke found it on one of his adventures, and maybe that's how the New Republic found out, is because Luke was like, oh, hey, by the way, you're going to think I'm crazy, but 800 years ago, our money was made at this little planet, at this location, and all that. I don't know.
What did you think about the Onyx Cinder being an emissary ship?
Like being an At-Atten ship?
Yeah.
For me, that's kind of what made me come up with the Tax Rented being the supervisor thing. Like, what if instead of crashing, since it was an At-Atten ship, maybe he buried it, and that's why it's still like usable, even whenever the kids find it. And he buries it because he becomes the supervisor. But I don't know.
The only problem with it being buried versus it crashing is how deep it was under the earth, and that ravine that was obviously created by, you know, that ravine where they first find the ship is like pretty deep and everything. But
why is it still usable?
It could have been terraformed. The land could have been terraformed to hide the ship.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know.
And that's why that ravine is there. You know, I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah. But no, I think that was a cool plot point, that it's actually an At-Atten ship, and that's why it makes it.
And we said it that last episode, whenever they were getting devoured by the giant trash compactor thing. You know, I mentioned, I was like, what if the reason why the ship has a exo like hole is so if you have treasure, you can just jettison it and blow it up. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's a really cool pirate ship feature. But now as an emissary vehicle, that makes way more sense.
Yeah, you can kind of fake your own death if you need to. If you're carrying a lot of gold and you don't want someone to catch you.
Yeah, you know, if pirates grab onto the hole, you just blow the hole off and then make your way through the galaxy in a much smaller ship. Which was also makes sense why it was outfitted so heavily with like cannons and everything else, is that it was a gold ship.
Yeah, it's meant to be like a, you know, Brink's security truck of Star Wars, is kind of my understanding. Yeah. I like it. I like, you know, stuff like this where they just went a completely new direction. Like it's, you know, like the plot is somewhat out of left field in an appropriate way. But I really like that it's not, you know, we're not overly concerned about the Empire, the Jedi, or the Rebellion, or anything like that. It's just a completely new Star Wars story. And I kind of like that. It's refreshing.
Yeah, I definitely like that too. I also like how this show we've asked questions the whole time, and they've slowly given us answers, you know, and it hasn't been all up until this is the second to last episode when we found out, you know, most of our questions, but there still are many unanswered questions.
Yeah. And it's the kind of show where I think they really could do a season 2, and I think it could work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There could be a season 2, but I also don't mind single seasons of things if they're done really well.
And this was done really well. I mean, it stands on its own. Like you said, it doesn't even need a season 2, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. That the story is told so well that you don't even really need a second season.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this show has done just fine. And that's kind of how I would rate it. It's not my top show. I haven't gone rabid, you know, skipping ahead or anything else with wanting to know what's going to happen next to our characters or anything like that. It's just been a good, slow burn, which isn't a problem. But it stood well on its own. We haven't had to have had a Luke or, like somebody like Lando or Boba Fett or, some other like great known pirate. Like we haven't had to hope Han and Chewie are going to somehow show up, or like I said, Lando or some other smuggler we know, It's been fine with the characters they've introduced, and I don't even think there's been a mention of anyone of importance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard one bad review whenever this show came out, and it was someone talking about how this was something that no one asked for, but I kind of like that. Like, I kind of like that it's the show that no one asked for, but it's really good. Like, I think it's awesome.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think people are, besides that one person, which I'm sure there's more than one of those people, but
yeah,
I think the majority of us enjoy Star Wars stories that are in the universe, but don't feature anybody prominent.
Well, yeah, and even outside the universe, like, we all enjoy Visions. Even though, like, for a million reasons, they'll never be canon, they're still good. Like, I still like them.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
But I think a lot of people are hungry for that. I mean, I would watch a show about mouse droids.
Oh, dude,
like,
yeah.
What are mouse droids doing? I would watch a show about Ugnaughts on Cloud City in their daily life.
Yeah, and also like on Disney Plus, you remember that show that came out? It was like Star Wars Terrains or something, and it was just like Zen Star Wars landscapes.
Yeah,
and it would like play for like 20 minutes. Like, dude, I went to sleep for that. Like, I went to sleep with that for a while, like for a couple months. It's really relaxing.
Give me a Jawa
I watched the hell
show.
out of it. Yeah. Oh yeah,
give me a Jawa show.
That'd be awesome. And honestly, not a single line would even have to be in English, and I would still watch it.
Dude, a Tusken Raider show that's like something like one of those Yellowstone prequels.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me that wouldn't be sick.
Oh, dude, like a space western where like it's from their perspective, but there's like a sheriff in town and he's like trying to take over their land and they have to stand up against him. Like, that'd be so cool.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Why is no one from Lucasfilm stealing these ideas?
Yeah, I mean, we're giving it out for free on our podcast.
For free, man. This is a verbal trademark. If you make that show, we'll come for you.
That's right. Yeah. We're all secretly lawyers, actually.
Yeah, we're all secret high corporate lawyers.
That's right. And
we just wear the mask of Star Wars nerds.
That's right. That's right. And we do it specifically so we can try to sue Disney for taking our ideas.
Dude, a non-canon Star Wars lawyer show, like, of public defender court, like somebody trying to defend Palpatine after the first Death Star blows up.
Oh, yeah. No, that'd be hilarious.
And him being on trial for, like, Alderaan, or...
Yeah. Or even like
anything.
Or even like a Judge Judy, where it's like mostly just stupid drama crap, like nothing even really serious. Like, I would watch that.
Where Star Wars Maury.
Yeah.
Shmi is featured on the show.
You are not the father. Yeah. He's running away. Oh, classic.
Man, we're just giving this stuff out for free, Tuck.
That's fine, man. I mean, if someone makes it, that'd be sick.
It'd be sick. What else from this episode stood out for you, my friend?
Oh, well, he kills Wolfman, Brutus.
Him being Jod.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, Jod kills Brutus.
Right. That's what I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
Yeah, and it's at, like, it was just kind of interesting. Like, the kids pick him up with a crane and then he just shoots him in the head.
Yeah, Jod just executes him.
Kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah.
But it was
That's exactly how I felt during that scene too. I was getting ready while I was watching the episode. I was paying attention to the episode and everything. That scene popped up and I was like, hold on. Did Jod just shoot Brutus and kill him right then? Like, is he dead? Like, that's it? Like, Brutus has been kind of like, I don't know. We haven't really had an antagonist really in this show. Like, the pirates, yes, as a whole, have been the evil force coming after them.
But not like a real big bad. Like, no one who's
We haven't had a real big bad this entire series. Besides, like, honestly, if we were making a play for antagonists here, besides external forces like the galaxy being unknown for the children, you know, like the children's like innocence has kind of been an antagonist as an outside force. The pirates have been an antagonist of like as much as like who's coming after them like physically. But I would throw John in there as well.
Yeah, no, he definitely has. And also one thing I thought was interesting was the way that he killed Brutus, like just thinking about it, it is kind of fitting because like in many situations, Jod has kind of proved that while he is threatening, a lot of the time he just chooses to do stuff. The only word I can think of is cowardly, but that's not quite right. I mean, pretty much he just, if it's easy and if it's in front of him and it'll give him an advantage, he'll do it. Which just
You mean he does things like a pirate?
Exactly, yeah. But I thought that was kind of a fitting way that, that he kills Brutus. And then also, he does things like a pirate. That's also, I mean, kind of a fitting way for Brutus to die.
Yeah.
You live by the piracy, you die by the piracy.
Couldn't have said it better myself, you know? No, Jod has... I think in the first half of this show, I don't want to be super blanket statement, but as far as me, I feel like people kind of thought Jod might be like this Han Solo character where we've kind of seen flashes of that where like he's self-serving, but you know, he'll sit down with Wim and be like, you have to take control of your life. You can't let others determine your reality for you. You live in this great imagination, make your imagination come real, you know?
Yeah.
And he'll have those moments. But ever since Jod has kind of revealed his true nature, it's like, okay, there is no Han Solo here. There is no... I'm fully on with this second to last episode. Jod is completely self-serving. There is no redemption arc.
Yeah.
Jod is Jod.
Yeah, I was going to say,
and he is a bad guy.
I'm walking back what I said earlier. I mean, like, I know you really can't, but like, I no longer think that there will be any redemption for Jod.
That's okay. That's what these shows are for.
I no
That's why we
longer think
review them.
Yeah.
That's why we review this stuff, is because we see that arc of who these characters become, what may or may not happen. That's why we speculate every episode. We're not saying this is what's going to happen. It's speculation.
Yeah, but it's also, like you said, not every story needs redemption.
No, and I'm glad that we're in that direction. Because, yes, Star Wars is a fairy tale. Like, the original Star Wars is a fairy tale. It's about the redemption of Anakin Skywalker and that whole deal. But this is not the story of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. And then also, too, Star Wars is a big, big galaxy, and sometimes bad stuff happens. And there's no justice, and there's no revenge, and there's, I mean...
And I think for a coming-of-age story,
in Star Wars,
that's
sometimes
a huge element of a coming-of-age story is that innocence of childhood gets slowly taken away. You know, and you realize that the world isn't just going to school and riding on your speeder bike and being late and thinking your parents are unfair. And the galaxy's a lot bigger, and it can be a very dark place. There's not light everywhere, but there's dark too.
Yeah. Yeah, like people suffer sometimes in the Star Wars
Sometimes
galaxy.
people are bad pirates that everyone has told you from the start that this guy's a bad guy.
It's true. And sometimes people remember every twisted peak.
Sometimes you remember every twisted peak. Hi, welcome. Today we have a special on Java Juice.
I love it.
For the adults, we get Edis sticks over on the starboard side.
On the starboard side. Arr.
Would you like smoking or non-smoking?
And if they say non-smoking, he's like, all right, I gotcha. It's only smoking.
It was what we pirates call a goof.
I double-crossed you. It's all smoking.
Aye.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Beautiful.
So good, man. So good. But yeah, no, I'm glad that Jod has not turned out to be a good guy. I don't think that here in the next episode, Jod's going to suddenly be like, I see the light now. I'm going to join you.
And also, it might be kind of weak if they did that.
Yeah, I think the moment that any hope of Jod having a redemption arc was whenever he has the children on the ship after he sneaks onto the ship and they think they're making it home. Mm-hmm. And he cuts off 33's head.
Yeah.
Which I was like, dude, he's been captured by the pirates this whole time. How has he not used the lightsaber? But yeah, finally we get to this moment and 33's like, don't worry, I'll take care of him again. And just immediately gets his head cut off. Mm-hmm. And then Jod has all the children sit on the deck, heads down, and he's like, shut up. I swear, if any of you speak one more time during this entire ordeal, I will kill all of you.
And then he said, like, I appreciated seeing your parents' faces, and now I know who to chop up. And it's like,
yeah.
Jeez, Jod. Jeez,
yeah,
man.
I was like, yeah, Jod is not Han Solo.
Yeah,
at all.
And then also too, especially at the end, whenever he like all the kids get reunited with their parents, and he just walks up and ignites his lightsaber, and that's where it ends, which was wonderful, wonderful cliffhanger, by the way. But like, because before he ignites that lightsaber, I think that there was a possibility that like Fern might lie for him, just in order to get away from him. Like the kids might be willing to lie and somewhat set him free so that he leaves them alone. But as soon as he ignites that lightsaber, I mean, you can't take that back. So,
oh, and the glimmer of hope in Wim's eye after he's like, "Shut up, Neil. Shut up. You're the worst. Always with your talking, jabber, jabber, jabber." Yeah. And Wim's like, "You can't talk to him like that." Like, and he looks at Jod like, you're the guy that sat me down in the room while I cried my little child tears and listened to me. And he's just like, shut up, Wim. I'll slice your head off right now and carve you up. I will literally carve you up. And that single tear just goes from Wim's eye. And you're like, there it is. Wim is no longer a child.
And also, too, you can see it in Wim's eyes. And actually, kudos to that actor, because like, he really portrayed like heartbreak really well. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you could just look into that kid's eyes and tell that like his innocence has been stolen from him and that his heart is broken.
Yeah, that Jod is not going to wind up being a hero.
Yeah.
And that he has been a bad person this whole time. And he has hoped the entire time of knowing this man that sure, he may have some flaws. He may not do everything right all the time. He may make some bad decisions, but deep down, he's good. He's got to be good. Yeah,
because he's a Jedi from the stories.
Yeah, and he's not.
Yeah, yeah. That's really where this is a really powerful episode. I think it's because of stuff like this, the emotional stuff.
I was surprised that Jod used the Force in front of the whole crew to take his cuffs off. That moment earlier whenever Brutus gets captured by the claw hand, and he's still in like those old cuffs, and he just uses the Force to break him off. I was like, he's just gonna do that in front of the whole crew? Like,
yeah. And also too, I mean, like, unless all of the crew are complete morons, like, I mean, if you put cuffs on somebody and you watched them break them, wouldn't you notice that? Like, wouldn't that be something you're like, huh? Especially if he did it with his mind powers. Like, you wouldn't think that's weird? That wouldn't, like, freak you out a little bit?
A little odd.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It's
he just shot Brutus in cold blood. Whatever.
Yep.
There was another part. The Claimsies on the Onyx Cinder.
Yes.
Before 33's demise. Mm-hmm. Which I was like, oh, Wim's going to call Claimsies on the ship and they're going to be screwed. Like, 33 is going to be with them again. And Jod just, like, covers up his mouth and he's like, I am the pirate lord. Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then Fern calls unclaimsies.
She calls on claimsies
and then claims
and claimsies for the kids.
That's
and
right.
John's like, that's not how that works. And 33 just decides he's
just
like,
buys
close
it.
enough for me.
I love you, kids.
And just starts bodying pirates.
I do like that.
What do you think about John's helmet? Are you pro helmet or con helmet?
I kind of wish that we had seen the helmet a little bit more. I know we saw it in the first episode, like the first little bit of the first episode. But like we don't see it until now again. And it's just kind of
For those 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think I'd be more pro helmet if we saw it more than like once.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of a random choice to me.
I think it's one of those things that makes sense for like a pirate, because like, why would you want your identity to be known outside
Yeah.
of your crew? You know what I mean? It kind of helps build that persona of like great pirates. You know, like Blackbeard. You know, there was always that thing that he had that cloud of smoke around him because he would put fuses in his beard, and it would have that thing of smoke around him.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
I
also
don't know if
too,
that's
like
true, but-
like also like Disney pirates too. Like I mean, if you think about it, like Captain Jack Sparrow, he doesn't go anywhere without his personal effects, which is his hat, his sword, and his pistol. He's got to have them everywhere. And so maybe John's kind of a similar case where like that's his thing. Like he needs to have that helmet, and if he doesn't have it, then he'll do anything to get it. I don't know.
And if you don't know who is under the mask, it, you know, helps build up that lore.
Yeah, well, and your point about Blackbeard, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And also, like, I think just from, like, the little bit I know about the great age of piracy, so, like, let's say the 1700s in, like, you know, the Caribbean, Northern Africa, like, where all these pirates were really heavy at the time. I mean, it was somewhat common for, like, if you were a pirate, especially, like, a pirate who was successful, you had some sort of shtick. Like, you had some sort of thing that people knew you for. And so, maybe that's kind of their tradition they're carrying on. Maybe the helmet is just his shtick. It's his
once
aura.
you
It's his
become
thing. Yeah.
Once you become more of a myth that rather than a man, you're more, you know, there's more fear behind that.
Yeah.
Rather than just being a normal man, you're Blackbeard.
Yeah, and you got, I mean, and with a shtick, I mean, that only helps you become legendary. That only makes you
What do you
scarier.
think our pirate crew shtick would be?
Depends on who's captain.
You can pick anybody. It doesn't matter.
I think for me, my shtick would be maybe like only attacking at night or something. Because, like, I mean, first of all, if you're attacking in a sailboat at night, one, you're insane. And B, if you're good at it, think about how terrifying that would be. Like, you can't even see, you just get boarded all of a sudden. Like, that'd be terrifying. I think that'd probably be me. That'd probably be my
You
shtick.
think the darkness is your ally.
Yep.
I
Until
was born in it.
they come out with 1700s night vision, then I'd be screwed. But
So you're Bane. Good to know.
yeah, what would yours be?
I don't know. Probably something really dumb.
Like, would you wear like a silly mustache?
I'd probably like make everybody dress in like silly outfits
Oh, nice.
so that like no one takes us serious.
Or maybe like maybe like your whole crew wears floaties.
I know what our shtick would basically be the pirates who don't do anything from VeggieTales.
Dude, honestly, that would go kind of hard.
Like everybody thinks we're just hanging out, maxing out, acting all cool.
Shooting some b-ball outside of school.
Yeah. On a couple of pirates who are up to no good.
What if I attacked you at night though? What would you do?
You wouldn't attack me. See, that's the whole thing. You wouldn't think to attack me because I'm not worth it.
Also, too, maybe with your relaxed attitude, you become homies with all the pirates, and then they don't.
See, that's the
attack
thing. It'd be like a alter ego type deal. You would think that we're of no value or worth. Like our reputation as pirates would be horrible, but reality we'd be like the most fearsome crew on the seven seas.
you. Right.
You would think we're the pirates who don't do anything, but really we're Blackbeard.
So you're kind of doing like a Puss in Boots thing from Shrek.
I
Where
would
he looks
say
like an
more
adorable
Mrs.
little kitty
Doubtfire.
cat, but he kicks your butt.
Yeah, no, I'd say we'd be more like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Would you do run by fruitings if you had to?
I think that would be our main form of attack.
Is a run by fruiting?
Yeah.
Help is on the way, dear. That's good. That's good stuff.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can think of anything else to really talk about with this episode. What about you?
Besides how I thought it was weird that, so the Onyx Cinder comes in and they're just like accepted. But I like how the supervisor plays it off, where he makes that PA announcement and he's like, everybody, there's an emissary ship coming in, all non-essential workers, pay no mind. And they land, and the security droids are there, and I'm like, Jod looks like a pirate. He looks like an emissary in no way, shape, or form. And he has 4 children on board, and the droids are just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they do mention that they are the kids that were reported missing, but that's it.
Yeah, but Jod's just like, if the emissary wishes you to stay aboard the ship, that's what the emissary says.
But also, too, I wonder if this is a trap. By the
It very well could be.
Yeah.
It very well could be, because the way that the droids are just playing it off is like, okay, this is fine, whatever. I don't think At-Atten gets used that much.
Yeah.
Because, like, the field where the hangar comes out of to go down into the vaults is just like this grass field.
Yeah, it's like a public park. Like, there's people, walking around on it and stuff.
Yeah, and they don't really seem aware that this is a thing.
In fact, they seem very surprised whenever the park starts to open up into a hangar.
Yeah, that this is just happening. So I thought that was odd. And then the parents show up and are finally reunited with the kids, and I was like, perfect. The kids are reunited. Jod's gonna go to jail, and then that ending scene of Jod just pulling out his lightsaber and standing there. And did you notice the amount of vaults they have?
Yeah, it was like, what, like 1,930 something? Like, it was a ton.
1139.
Oh, 1,139, yeah. And they're all that full. And that looked like quite literally tons of gold.
Oh, it's like Fort Knox.
Well, and I mean, that might be more gold than there is on Earth. Like, in that
Quite
gold.
possible.
I mean, it might be. Yeah.
I mean, that scene of Jod just like picking one up, and then they all start to fall off the pallet, and he's just like letting them rain down on him, and he's like,
yeah, but
this is all the gold in the galaxy.
But that's also the funny thing too, is, I mean, to your point, like, I get that they're droids, but like, they're literally, their heads are cameras. And like, unless this is a trap, wouldn't a droid think that's odd? That you're clearly laughing maniacally?
It could be. I mean, I think it supports your theory of Tack Rennet being the supervisor, or AI Tack Rennet being the supervisor, because like, if pirates do find out about your treasure trove, you let them see it. You let them think their dreams are fulfilled, and then they die by your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, you just
or
trap
your
them.
Robot appendages.
Yeah. Yeah, or you command your many robots to take them down. I don't know.
Like, what if that's 33's true purpose? He just lies in wait on the Onyx Cinder.
Dude, what if 33 is tack-rated?
That's why he always has his mind wiped.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I don't think so, but that would be crazy.
There's only one way to know, and that's to find out next time here on Animal Squadron while we review the season finale of Skeleton Crew.
I definitely suggest watching the episode before listening to our next episode, just so.
Nope. Just listen to our episode. It'll give you everything you need.
That's true. That's true. You'll have every bit as much fun with most of the information. So, I'd say
Quite
that's
possibly more.
Pretty solid trade-off.
You know what's not in the episode? All of our interesting ideas, theories, and our screenplays.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't get to hear about Mac's upcoming Star Wars TV show, his telenovela.
It'll be picked up eventually.
I think so.
It'll be picked up
I think
eventually.
it's just a matter of time. And I honestly,
And the great part is, you guys all have roles. Elijah hasn't done any voices yet. I don't know who will. You know, we have to figure out some characters that he can do. Because it's mostly voiced by me and you at this point.
but
So-
also too, we know from high school that Elijah can play the Spanish guitar, which is perfect for your novella with a dramatic
is.
moment. Yeah,
maybe he'll just be his own character.
he could be the intro and all the dramatic moments and his own character. Look at that.
Quite possibly. We don't know. You'll have to stick around to find out. But remember, that can only happen if viewers like you spread the show, review the show, and tell your friends about it.
That's right. Yep. To quote PBS, this show is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
But we're not evil like Bill and Melinda Gates.
But never mind. I'm not getting into that. Never mind.
I've almost got him.
You almost got me started. Almost. You're very close.
Almost on the twisted peak.
I almost got the tuck.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Thank you for listening to all the episodes. Remember, we've got a full backlog of episodes talking about things all related to Star Wars, possibly not related to Star Wars, here on the Animal Squadron podcast. If you'd like to join the conversation, you can email us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that's animalsquadron@gmail.com. You can either voice your opinions on things that we've said, theories that you may have, or anything, and we'd be happy to hear it.
Yeah.
But for the Animal Squadron podcast, this has been the one and only HouseDog.
And Lowtech Tuck.
Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.